Hello, hello, hello. Konnichiwa. Hi, everybody. My name is Alistair Humphreys, and I am the author of the book, The Girl Who Rode the Ocean, which I believe you've been reading at school. So thank you so much for reading my book. I really appreciate it. And thank you to your fantastic teacher for getting in touch with me and sending me in some questions about the book. So I'm going to answer your questions. Thank you very much for reading the book. Thank you for sending them in. The first question is from Fumito, who says, what was the hardest part of the travelling, and why was it hard? I think the hardest part of rowing an ocean, I think, was being away from my family, missing my family, and feeling guilty that I was away from home out on an expedition in the middle of the ocean. I also found that it was hard, being seasick, that is very hard. And also just rowing all day and all night and all day and all night is tiring. You get so tired. It's also quite boring at times. So you need to keep yourself motivated. There was quite a lot of things that were hard on this trip. I found it really difficult. Koma, which part of your biking journey was the most difficult and made you question completing the journey? So Koma's asking about a different adventure when I spent 4 years cycling the whole way around the world, including cycling all the way down Japan, which was one of my favourite countries. I really enjoyed cycling through Japan. I think the hardest part was actually just before Japan, when I was in Russia in the winter, and it was very, very cold. Cycling through temperatures of minus 40 degrees through Siberia was really hard. At the end of that, I took a boat to Sakhalin, and from there took another boat to Hokkaido and started to ride down Japan. Hibiki, how did you overcome different climates and what were you wearing? Well, in hot countries, it's quite easy. You don't have to wear so many clothes, but in the very cold places, so Russia or the Andes Mountains, then I would need really big jackets, big hats, big gloves, warm sleeping bag, and so my mum back in England, she would post them all to me, and I would collect them from a post office somewhere, use them through the winter, and then send them back home, back to my mum, by which time they were quite smelly, and she was very kind to clean my clothes ready for the next winter when she could send them back to me somewhere else. Kotaro, did you just pass through the countries you went to, or did you learn the cultures and foods there? I tried to learn as much as I could everywhere I went. I didn't just want to zoom through a country and see nothing. I wanted to see things and to learn and to talk to people and to try different foods. So that was really important to me, to try and experience the culture in different places. Haruto, what was the most exciting moment? That is a hard question. Well, seeing as I'm talking about rowing the ocean, I think maybe I'll choose when we saw a whale on that. You're rowing along, you're quite tired, maybe a bit bored, and then poof, a whale, boom, burst out of the ocean. That is a really magical experience. Arisa says, did you eat fool when you visited Sudan? How was it? Well, yes, I ate a lot of fool. Fool is beans cooked and cooked and cooked and cooked till it's quite soft, and then you eat it with scoop it up with bread. And yeah, in Sudan they eat a lot of fool, so I ate a lot of that, and it was nice. I liked it. Shion, what was your favourite cuisine out of all the food you tried? My favourite food in the world was not natto. That is for sure. I liked Japanese food. Lots of it was very delicious, very oishi, but natto was not very delicious. Japan is really interesting. In Japan, the food, in my opinion, as an English person, the food in Japan is either really delicious, so nice, really good, or so disgusting and strange and weird. So eating food for me in Japan was always quite an adventure, because when I started to eat something, I didn't really know what it was going to be like. So it was often quite an adventure eating food in Japan. But generally, I really, really liked Japanese food very much. Which country have you been most... Sorry, Mariko says, which country were you most impressed by the scenery? Oh, scenery. Kyrgyzstan was very, very beautiful. Lots of countries, of course, are beautiful, but Kyrgyzstan was the one that first came to my head then. Fu says, how did you earn the money for travel? And did you do part-time work while cycling around the world? So I earned money for cycling around the world by working in bars, in pubs, to make money before the trip. And then when I was on the journey, I didn't really want to stop and work because that would just take too long. It would make the journey even longer. So instead I just tried to live cheap and not spend much money. But later on in the journey, when I'd gone quite a long way, then I started to write some articles for magazines, and they would pay me to write stories about my adventure. And that was brilliant, to be just writing and earning money from the adventure itself. John, what was the most dangerous situation on an adventure? I think the most dangerous thing I've done was I went across Iceland in a little boat called a pack raft. There is a video on YouTube of me crossing Iceland, and on that we had to paddle down rivers, and some of the rivers, the water was really fast, really powerful, quite dangerous, and I'm not very good at those boats, so I think that was the most dangerous thing I've done. Raina, what cuisine did you eat in Panama? Wow, Raina, nobody has ever asked me that question before. What did I eat in Panama? Gosh, I can't really remember. A lot of Central America, the food is based around chicken, rice, beans. So I would guess that. I can't remember. Excellent question. Haru, how did you deal with the emotional challenge of coming back to normal life after experiencing something as powerful and life-changing as an adventure? Wow, that is a very big question. How do you deal with coming back to normal life? I think the honest answer is that I found it really difficult. And even today, even this morning, I find myself sometimes thinking, oh, my normal life is so boring. I just need to go away on adventures. But you can't be on an adventure all the time. And actually, I don't want to be on an adventure all the time. I want a normal life in a normal town with normal people around me. That's what I want. That's really important, to feel a sense of community. But at the same time, it sometimes also feels really boring. So I've found coming back to normal life to be quite difficult after adventures. Mia, what was a moment during one of your adventures when you truly questioned why you were doing it? What helped you keep going? Well, when I was rowing the Atlantic Ocean, in the middle of the ocean, in the dark, night, big waves, strong wind, raining, a storm hit the boat is rocking all around, it's difficult to keep rowing, it was very frightening, I felt very sick, it was horrible. If I had $1 million, I would have paid it then to just go home and be in my bed at home. So I definitely questioned why I was doing it then. And what kept me going then was that when you are in the middle of an ocean in a small boat, nothing can help you. If I had $1 million, it would do nothing. You just had to keep on rowing. So that was difficult, but knowing that it was impossible to escape actually made things easier, because I could just accept it and just try to get on with it as best I could. Wataru says, why did you decide to write The Girl Who Rode the Ocean? I wrote the book because, one, I earn money from writing books. It's my job. That's how I get my money. 2, I wrote it because I like to try and share the stories of what I've been doing, and hopefully that's an interesting story. But with this book, I was also trying to tell people about the environment and why it's really important to love and protect our oceans. And then this story, I turned it from being me, a man, into Lucy, a girl. And the reason I did that is because in England there are not many books that have girls as the hero of an adventure story. And I think it's really important for girls to see that anyone can go and do big adventures. And I also think it's important for boys to read books with girls as the heroes. Why should that be a problem? So I thought it was important to have more books about adventure with girls as the main character. Wataru, you have 2 Watarus. Wataru O says, if you could come back as a child, what would you do differently? Wow, that's a good question. If I could come back as a child, what I would do differently is to learn more languages. I wish I could speak more languages. That would be fantastic. Kodai says, did you encounter some wild animals in Egypt, specifically crocodiles? Yes, there are crocodiles on the River Nile, so you have to be quite careful when you are going to the river, maybe to wash. Yeah, crocodiles on the Nile. I love crocodiles, but I'm also very scared of them. There are also lots of crocodiles in Costa Rica, I remember, in the rivers. Najipu, what was the biggest mistake in your life? And how did you fix it? What was the biggest mistake in your life? Wow, what a question. What is the biggest mistake in my life? That's a very good question. That's a very big question. The biggest mistake in my life. I don't really know. I tell you one thing I'm very bad at. One thing I'm very bad at is I spend a lot of time dreaming about the past, or wishing for the future, or wishing that I was in a different place. And I don't spend enough time just being here today, right now, being happy for everything that I've got. So that's something I really need to get better at. Thank you very much for your questions. By the way, do you like my shed? This is a small little wooden building where I write all my books. On the wall here, where is it? Here. It's hard to point. This is my planning for my next book. I've got lots of books about adventures and travels. Up here on the ceiling, I have a big map of the world so I can look over, see where you are in Japan. I have a very comfortable chair. And look at this, my favourite thing. Sometimes when Japan is a very tidy country, but England is a very untidy country, and people throw a lot of trash away. And I like to bring home the good trash. Like all these paintings here, I've found all of these just thrown away in the street. Got lots of paintings, and my new friend, I found this on the street last week, and I love it. Isn't this a great thing to have in my shed? I don't know what I don't know what I should do with this, but I like it very much. What do you think I should do with it? There we are. Right, there we are. This is where I work and write my books, and now it's time for me to get on and write my next book. Thank you very much for all your questions. Arigato gozaimasu. I hope that you have a good day, and good luck with all of your own adventures. Bye.